Okay, so I'm doing this after like 1 month of ghosting you guys, but here I am, and I have absolutely no idea what would become of this podcast. I haven't still decided the topic or the title I'm gonna name it. What am I going to speak about? I have really no idea, but I just wanted to hit record and come here to talk to you guys because yeah, January has been so cold to me. Life has been so messy. I have fallen sick thrice in 1 month. I had a few guests at my home. So, yeah, it was a lot to deal with. And probably I'm going to sound this weird throughout the podcast. And probably I'm going to cover up my coughs with awkward laughters. So, let it slide, okay? Tell me, you guys, how are you doing? I hope you all are doing really well, taking care of yourself and still taking precautions even though vaccine aa gayi hai ab. And by the way, disclaimer, this podcast is going to be so random because I am in one of those moods where I just want to sit quietly and also talk a lot with you guys. So yeah, it's going to be random, super random. Sometimes I wonder what would happen if people could just, sit together in silence, sharing each other's silence, understanding each other, questioning through eyes, and answering with smiles. Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. I'm under the weather, that's why I'm talking all these random things. But you're obviously here to listen to me speak about something, so I must speak about something or some days.
Sunbeaming into your life.
Some days are good, some days are bad. Some days are so hard that I can't remember the lyrics of the song. This is my weird voice singing you the song, but yeah, I am talking about some days, some random days today. Have you ever sat under the sun and looked at your own eyelashes? Yeah, some days I'm lazing around under the winter sun, seeing the rainbow colors shining at the ends of my eyelashes, feeling the warmth of my skin, and I see red, oh red, upon closing my eyes, knowing there's light outside. But some days are cold and gloomy, like the weather. I find myself in conditions I can't solve. The pressure rains upon me, and I'm hit by blue. Oh, blue. Like the Monday blues. I allow myself some belief when I have no clues. Some days are for dreaming far above the sky, and some days are for not knowing how to be good at life. Some days I have all these amazing ideas running through my mind, and on days I'm so blank, but I remember how to be kind to others and myself. Most days I'm focused on work and enjoying the time, embracing happy days with my people around me, and on some days I'm a shoulder to cry for my people when the sad grey times loom around us. Some days I'm so vulnerable, crying for no real reason but all. And on some days, little things like kicking pebbles make me happy. Life is made of these little things which you realize as you grow. They mean the most, matter the most, and that they aren't really the little things, the tiny little things, but big things, creating huge impact on your mood, on your status, and on your life. So come with me, come on. What's the rush? What's the hurry to go anywhere? Sit with me. Sit with me, and I'll let you in on some glimpses of my life. Queuing a tad bit of promotion cookie here. This part of the podcast is also going to be on my YouTube channel in a video format. Whichever platform you're listening to, you'll find the link in the podcast notes. So if you're interested, please go click it and have a look. By the way, I'm yet to edit that video and upload once I really know what I'm about to speak further. Some days I'm swinging in a children's park, looking at the sky go round and round, feeling the dizziness kicking in, giggling like a kid. Some days I write my thoughts in an old diary, smell its pages which speaks of gone days of my teenage. Some days I'm watching sunset from terrace, listening to my favorite music with my heart in the clouds and the sky. Some days I'm watching peacocks in a garden, in a park. Some days I admire fireworks go off in the sky, spreading magically like the contrast confetti. And some days I know it's okay to be a part of an audience cheering for the talents on festivals. Some days I'm typing like crazy, letting my novel plots lead me into a fiction world. Some days I'm on a holiday from my responsibilities. Some days I'm hunting shooting locations around the city with my friends. And some days I'm watching rain and good weather from the college corridor, wondering when I will be free soon and whether the rain would last that longer. Some days I wonder where all these people are heading, packed into a train compartment or walking on the bridge. Some days I hear sounds of rain, sitting idly, quietly. Most days I'm out there working, and on some days I just sit admiring the dust particles in the sunlight. Some days I'm inspired, other days my life seems barren as a no man's land. On days I'm a kid grinning at changing lights in the keypad of my laptop or on the impressions ricocheting off the walls on Diwali. I love a lot of things like the sound of washing machine and the bubbles and the water everywhere. I love how much energy these society kids have to play even after sunset. They just want to play, no matter how dark it gets. And we just want to run on to the next task. Why do we not ever stay in the moment? Do you ever watch those patterns on the walls when the sunlight gets in from little creaks in the windows or the ventilations onto the walls of your home? Have you ever watched the bubbles loosen up in a cold drink bottle? Have you heard the sirens blaring on the roads and yet felt the peace within watching the birds fly? Because some days I'm doing just that, capturing random frames and humming with random made up lyrics of my own. Some days I'm scripting good, and some days I can't get out of my thinking block. On these days, my friends kidnap me and take me out. And when they don't, I enjoy the solitude. And I'm almost always found with a recording device, vlogging, or video documenting my days and nights. On some days, I'm experimenting in the kitchen. Sometimes I fail, other times the mess is worth it. Some days my eyes catch unidentified people living in my house, like the beetles, ants, spiders, or lizards. Some days, random things like catching water droplets or watching my eyelashes catch the sun makes me happy. Afternoons are my favorite for a reason. The sun shines, just does its abracadabra so beautifully over the colors of nature. I find shadowy things in the day so appealing. Not in the night though, unless it's me. Some days I'm adamant on pulling little children's cheeks or listening to a kid's naughty laughter. Other times I become the kid, admiring the shiny lights on a musical night, getting lost in the sea of tunes. On other days, I'm lost in the ocean of clouds up there. My head is in the clouds. I'm always imagining something on days, but that doesn't mean I don't find time to reminiscence the good memories. Maybe, go through photo albums or old boxes. And some days I feel so overwhelmed. Other days I overthink and search the meaning of this life. But for some reason, somehow, I always remind myself to value what is and to not worry about what was or what will. There are a lot of pretty things always happening around us, but we are too busy trying to search a way to see the bigger picture. We don't actually notice the small things in life, which ultimately forms that bigger picture. I really hope I made sense to you in listing these little things with no logic or sense and took them totally out of context. But this is me, loving random stuff and appreciating my middle class life. और वैसे भी Being happy and healthy is the greatest luxury ever. I do have my low moments. Well, I had a lot of them the past month, which is why this podcast is happening now. But the point is, I'm a learner and I keep learning to come through these doubt traps and rise above with positivity. And if I'm not feeling the positive vibe, well, some days I let go, take life slow. Other days I find control. You see, change is really the only constant. And I don't know if time heals, but I know perspective does, for sure.
Sunbeaming into your life.
I think this is it for this podcast. I really am so happy with the response on my previous podcast, Gratitude Project, wherein people from all over India and world talked on my podcast why and for what they were grateful for. I mean, that blew up tremendously because the stats were awesome. So, thank you from all my heart for the love and support, for taking out the time to listen to me. It means the world to me, honestly. I wish you all a very happening day. Suprabhat. Well, it's morning at my place, but oh my gosh, you guys, I saw the analytics and my podcast is being heard in more than 12 countries, which is insane. I can't thank you enough for tuning in. So, whatever time it is at your place, whether it's morning, so Suprabhat, Sumadhyat for afternoon, Susandhya for good evening, and Supratri for night. So, I'll cut the crap and see you when I do. Take care, stay healthy, that's very important. Respect your body. Out of all the costly shit we invest in, our body is the most expensive of all. So you're smart enough, go feed yourself the green gold and become rich, become fit, become hit. Here's lots of love and hugs to you. See you.